Today's video, I am sharing how I lost 65 pounds in 6 months after having 3 kids in under 2 years. Now, before I go into it, I want to make it very clear that I do not think anyone needs to rush to lose weight after having a baby. Take care of your body that just had to push out a human, heal up, focus on your mental health, focus on the health of your baby, establish your milk supply if you choose to breastfeed, and once you feel like you got all of that figured out, if you decide that you want to lose some weight because you think it'll make you feel healthier, then let me tell you about what I did, my journey, what I'm doing now, because it really has made me feel so much healthier as someone who's not been the best in terms of consistency when it comes to working out. But before we get into it, I have to shamelessly plug my channel. Please like and subscribe if you have not already, and if you are a current subscriber, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys. And go follow me over on Instagram and the Like to Know It app, just at myZimmy. First, let me give you a little background on my journey. Once upon a time, I had 0 kids and was 125 pounds. I was fairly active. I ate kinda healthy. I would definitely eat salads and green smoothies here and there, but I definitely had a lot of cheat meals, but it didn't really matter because I was in my 20s and I had a good metabolism. Then I got pregnant with my twins. It was a very rough pregnancy. I had constant morning sickness and nausea, and the only thing that helped my nausea and somewhat subsided it is if I was constantly eating. So I constantly ate, and I unfortunately could not work out in the pregnancy any longer. By the end of it, the final 2 months, I was on official bed rest, so I was basically immobile. But I was lucky. I made it full term with my twins. I never developed anything like gestational diabetes, which was something my OB was getting concerned about and monitoring me for, because in the 37 weeks that I was pregnant, I gained 75 pounds, which in my doctor's words was an excessive amount for a twin pregnancy. He did not have the best bedside manner, but he kept telling me to give me a baseline that in a typical pregnancy, if you're starting at a normal BMI, which I did start at a normal BMI, you should expect to gain anywhere between 25 to 35 pounds, and you're only allotted 10 more pounds on top of that for a twin pregnancy. So I doubled the allotted amount for a typical twin pregnancy. I guess I'm an overachiever. After having twins, life was crazy. If you're not new to my channel, you know that my twins both had colic and reflux for the first several months of life. I don't have any family around to help me. My husband works a lot. It was all on me to take care of these 2 new babies that were crying all the time and throwing up everywhere. And basically, I lost the weight without even thinking about it because I would forget to eat, and I was just so busy taking care of the babies, trying to soothe them, feed them, keep them happy, that I essentially lost the weight from exhaustion and malnutrition, which I would not suggest as a weight loss program. That is not the takeaway of this video. I am just being honest about my journey, which is not over yet. After many moons, when my twins were just over 1 year old, they got easier and their reflux resolved, and instead of enjoying the break, we got pregnant again. I thought I wouldn't gain as much weight in that pregnancy because it was 1 baby instead of 2, but on delivery day with my 3rd boy, I weighed 200 pounds, which was the same amount that I weighed on delivery day with my twins. My belly wasn't nearly as big with 1 versus 2, but the weight just dispersed everywhere else on my body. But it didn't matter. I was healthy, baby was healthy. I just kind of assumed I would lose weight without thinking about it again like it had happened the last time, but I was wrong. If you're currently pregnant with your first baby, you lose anywhere between 10 to 20 pounds the week after you deliver, between baby, placenta, water weight loss, and amniotic fluid. I lost about 20 pounds the week after having my 3rd baby, and then I lost an additional 7 pounds the month following without really even thinking about it. At around 173 pounds, that's where I hit a wall, and I just I wasn't losing any more weight. I wasn't actively trying to lose weight, but again, since I lost it without thinking about it the last time, I just assumed it would be the same story this time around, and I was at a standstill. So I decided to work towards a healthier lifestyle. My goal was not necessarily to get back to my pre-pregnancy weight, but I wanted to feel better and healthier because I didn't really feel like myself. I knew that working out was not something I could commit to doing consistently. Again, 3 kids under 2, no family around to help, my husband's working a lot. When I could catch a break to myself, I was trying to catch up on the millions of tasks that were falling by the wayside as I was taking care of the kids, but I could control my eating. So I downloaded the MyFitnessPal app so I could start counting my calories. I filled out the questionnaire in the beginning, like I weigh 173 pounds, I want to lose 2 pounds a week, I live a sedentary lifestyle, and it allotted me between 1,300 and 1,400 calories a day, which is not a lot. I could easily down that in a single meal. But I followed the calorie limits for 2 months and I just felt hungry all day. I was always thinking about food, but I followed the limits strictly because in my head I just wanted to feel better, and this was how you feel better, even though I didn't feel very great while I was doing it. But after 2 months, I did lose weight. I lost 20 pounds in 2 months to get to 153 pounds. But I hit another standstill and I wasn't losing any more weight. I was stuck at 153 and I had to stay in that 1,300 to 1,400 calorie limit to just maintain 153. I tried it a few times to up the calories, and almost instantaneously I would start gaining weight again. And I definitely was not prepared to cut the calories any more than I had already because I already felt like I was suffering. It just wasn't working for me. It wasn't something that I felt like I could keep up, so I needed to look at another alternative. Then I learned about intermittent fasting. My dad at the time, unfortunately, was going through some health issues, so it was actually his doctor that recommended it to him to help him with his weight loss, and it's also tied to a lot of other potential health benefits. I'll leave links to articles on that below. But his doctor recommended it to him due to the health benefits, and he also said my mom could partake in it with him because maybe it'll help my dad stick to it better if he has someone to do the intermittent fasting with. And when my parents came to visit, they were looking great, they said they were feeling great, and they were sticking to their intermittent fasting regimen. And so I figured why not try it myself as well. And before I go any further, I have to add in a little disclaimer. Before you make any drastic lifestyle changes, please talk to your doctor, your OB, whoever your primary care doctor is at this time. They know best what your body can handle. Intermittent fasting may not be an option for everyone, but I just want to make it clear that I am not recommending this for everyone because there are certain health issues out there that might clash with intermittent fasting, and I'm definitely not recommending it to everyone unless you talk to your doctor and get the thumbs up. But anyways, disclaimer over. I follow the 16-8 rule of intermittent fasting, which basically means that I fast or I don't eat for 16 hours of the day, and then I have an 8-hour window where I am allowed to eat. And the window that I have chosen to eat is between 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So essentially, I just skip breakfast. And no, you're still allowed to have coffee in the morning. You just can't add any sugar or creamer. It just has to be regular black coffee. And I know some people may say you shouldn't skip breakfast or you shouldn't skip meals, like whatever. You can do your own research and everyone can believe whatever they want to believe. But the thing that I thought about when I started intermittent fasting was, I mean, once upon a time, not that long ago, historically, people didn't have 3 solid meals plus snacks throughout the day. Add in like 4th meal, whatever Taco Bell calls it, at midnight. That was not a thing once upon a time in human history. I don't know. I'm not a historian, but I feel like that makes sense, right? Anyways, within 2 months of doing the 16-8 type of intermittent fasting, I lost another 20 pounds to get to 133 pounds. And I felt great. I had more energy, I felt like myself again, and I could pretty much eat whatever I wanted to in my 8-hour window, which was amazing because I love pizza. I'll be honest, honest, I wasn't eating the healthiest in my 8-hour window, but I really did feel better. And I loved not having to count calories. And for my body type, I do think every body type is different. Not all bodies may respond the same way, but for my body type, I do think it is more important when I eat versus what I eat. Because I was definitely eating more than my calorie limit allotment from MyFitnessPal while I was intermittent fasting, but I was able to actually lose additional weight. And note, for my mamas who are breastfeeding or pumping out there, I always get asked, is it safe to intermittent fast while you're breastfeeding or pumping for baby? And I would say you gotta test it out a little bit. I actually did ask my OB about this when I was starting my intermittent fasting, and she didn't see any harm in me trying to intermittent fast because I was exclusively pumping 4 times a day and then bottle feeding my son. So if intermittent fasting did negatively affect my milk supply, it would have been very obvious because I would have seen a drastic or even just a little bit of a diminishing returns from each pumping session. But for me, I didn't see any reduction in my supply when I started intermittent fasting. That doesn't mean it wouldn't reduce it for you, but people always ask me that, and it did not reduce my milk supply. I followed the 18-6 rule for intermittent fasting, ate pretty much whatever I wanted. I didn't work out for that year either. Not saying that's the best, but again, that's my honest experience. And I was able to maintain my weight between 130 and 140 pounds, which I was super happy with. And that is how I lost 65 pounds in 6 months after having 3 babies in under 2 years without working out. But do not go yet. I am not done with you. Now I want to let you know how I maintain my weight, health, everything today, because there have been some changes. Something happened when I turned 30. It was almost eerie how instantaneous it was, but my metabolism just ain't what it was in my 20s. It's almost like my internal clock struck 30 and just decided we don't need a fast metabolism anymore. So I was fasting and eating the same way I was when I was 29, but now at 30 I was starting to gain weight again and just feeling more sluggish. I was more affected by the not so good for me but tasty foods I was eating in my 8-hour window. I had to admit to myself that the way I was feeling was probably related to the fact that I wasn't eating the most nutrient rich or nutrient dense foods, probably needed to start working out again. And fasting is still great, but it's just not enough singularly at this point in my life. So this is what I do today. I still intermittent fast. It's one of the most important parts of my routine. I know at this point when I take off a few days of intermittent fasting, I feel the effects of that pretty quickly and I just feel more tired, exhausted by the end of the day. I mean, I'm a mom, so I'm always exhausted at the end of the day, but it's a different level of exhaustion that I do not need in my life. Next, probably equally as important as the fasting, is I take my vitamins every single day. I have a whole vitamin regimen that I am pretty strict about sticking to on a daily basis. For food, I am not someone who likes to count calories. It does not work for me. I cannot stay consistent with it. What I can stay consistent with is force myself to eat at least 1 salad a day. Then I try to reduce the bad things I eat by finding healthier substitutes for them that I still enjoy. Next thing I've added to my regimen in my 30s is I am working out again at minimum 2 times a week, but my goal is to get to the yoga studio 3 to 4 times a week. I do hot yoga. It's like 100 degrees. You sweat a ton. It is so cleansing. It feels so good. It's like therapy and working out all in one. So to summarize, I currently intermittent fast, take vitamins, eat healthy-ish, and I work out 2 to 4 times a week doing hot yoga. And I feel great right now. And I guess what is the takeaway that I want you to get from this video? And I think the takeaway from my story at least is it doesn't have to be this immediate, giant lifestyle workout change that happens immediately, that is just a drastic change in your life, because I'm not sure if that's possible when you're a brand new mom. I mean, maybe it is. It wasn't possible for me to just drop everything and focus on losing weight. For me, it happened in baby steps. I tried some stuff, it didn't really feel good with my body. I then found intermittent fasting that seemed to work for me, and then I was able to layer things on as I felt ready for them to be layered on. And I'm sitting here today and I am very happy with my current lifestyle, I guess you could say. The way I feel good. And I hope you all find whatever will make you feel good, whatever it ends up being. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of my other videos and playlists that should be floating over my face at this point. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.